Hello students, I hope you all are watching my videos. So in our last class, we were discussing about a very important topic, that is HIV, that is AIDS, isn't it? So that acquired immunodeficiency syndrome means AIDS, which was caused by a virus called as HIV, that is human immunodeficiency virus, isn't it? Along with that, we were discussing about the life cycle of HIV, the diagnosing, what kind of diagnosis we'll be having, then treatment, etc. So in today's class, before entering into the class, we'll quickly revise those previous slides. That is treatment for AIDS. That is, there are some prescribed drugs or the medications are there for to cure AIDS. But the very important thing to understand is, as I told you in the last class, by taking these medications, it is not possible to cure 100%. But however, by make use of these prescribed medicines, definitely we can increase the lifespan of the patient. Clear? So those medications are AZT, that is azithromycin, first one, and second one is DDI, that is dideoxyinosine. So by taking these two medications, the very important thing to happen in our body is, so these two medications can prevent the actual function of the reverse transcriptase enzyme. It means that that particular reverse transcriptase enzyme play a very important role in the body is, it can help in the conversion from single stranded RNA to double stranded DNA. So these two medications can prevent that conversion, that is from single stranded RNA to double stranded DNA, so that if there is no conversion means definitely that viral DNA is not going to form. If there is no viral DNA is not going to form, then it never incorporate in the host DNA. Then there is no production of viral particles. So that, however, by make use of these medications, we can reduce the viral load in the body. The count of the viral particles can be reduced. Clear? Next, these drugs inhibit the enzyme of HIV. Then highly active antiretroviral therapy called as HART. Do remember the word? Highly active antiretroviral therapy is a combination of 3 or more drugs or antiviral agents called as triple therapy. Do remember the word? Triple therapy or HART, which has been highly effective in reducing the number of HIV particles in the bloodstream. So this is what? One of the medication. Next, prevention of AIDS. Very simple thing. Ensuring the disposal of syringes, then ensuring the use of disposal shaving blades, then screen the blood before transfusing from a donor to a recipient, then advocating safe sex means by make use of condoms, etc. Then avoid multiple sex, then from mother to her respective child. So these are what? Some preventive measures in case of AIDS. Then the government organization called as NATO, National AIDS Control Organization, and many NGO. NGO means non-governmental organization. So this is governmental organization, and some of the non-governmental organizations also play a very important role. So to create awareness among people. Clear? So being a student, that is educated students, you should aware your neighbors, friends, then your family members, etc. about this AIDS. Then WHO, World Health Organization, has started a number of programs to prevent the spreading of HIV. Then free distribution of condoms, controlling drug abuse, and regular checkup of HIV in susceptible populations. So this is what we discussed in our last class. So then next topic is a very important topic, that is cancer. As you know that this is the most dreaded, that is most dangerous disease of human beings in major, it is major cause of death. As you know that most, the person who is suffering from cancer means almost he is about to die, isn't it? So till now there is no such medications to cure cancer, but however our recent technologies have discovered some of the good medications. It may be radiotherapy, laser therapy, then chemotherapy, surgery, whatever it may be. So many are there to treat the first stage of cancer. Do remember this point. First stage of cancer. So cancer is one of the major, most dreaded, refers to a most dangerous disease of human beings, and it is a major cause of death. Next, the process of development of cancer. The process of development of cancer is called as oncogenic transformation. Do remember the word. The process of development of cancer is called as oncogenic transformation. So the word oncogenic refers to, when you split this word, oncogenic, onco refers to cancer. I mean to say that the study of cancer is called as oncology. Do remember the word? The study of cancer is called as oncology. So that onco refers to cancer, genic refers to producing. So cancer producing, transformation. I mean to say that the normal cell is being converted into cancerous cell is called as transformation. Called as oncogenic transformation. It means that the normal cell is being converted into cancerous cell is called as oncogenic transformation. I hope you understand. Next, the normal cells have the property, very important property called as contact inhibition. Cell to cell contact inhibition. Here the word cell to cell contact inhibition means in our body, when any normal cell is about to convert it into abnormal, about to convert it into cancerous cell, so that time the neighboring cell can control the growth, that is abnormal growth or uncontrolled growth, which are coming in contact with the other cell. Getting my point? So the contact inhibition means in our body, if any normal cell is about to convert it into cancerous cell, means there the neighboring cells are going to prevent that cause, considered as contact inhibition. So normal cells have the property of contact inhibition, that is stoppage of uncontrolled growth on coming in contact with the other cells. So but in case of cancer, those cancer cells lose this property, or they may lost this property. It means they never control, they never regulate this contact inhibition, so that those cancer cells will be having a continuous rapid multiplication. This is what the contact inhibition. Next, as a result means those cells will not controlled by the body or by gene or by DNA, so that they will be having the continuous rapid multiplication without any regulation. See, as we discussed in our last, first year in cell cycle, each and every cell has its own regulatory mechanism, isn't it? So PM80, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. After that, those daughter cells enter into G1 phase. After that, S phase. After that, G2 phase. Again enter into the M phase, that is mitosis phase, isn't it? So that is a sequence mechanism or a regulatory mechanism that is present only in case of normal cells. But in case of cancer cells, so no, there is no such regulation or a sequential mechanism. So for that reason, as a result, the cancer cells divide continuously to give rise to a mass of cells called as a tumor. So the tumor is considered as cancers. Please note it, all cancers are tumors, but not all tumors are cancers. Very important. Once again, all cancers are tumors, but not all tumors are cancers. Next, types of tumors. See, in our body there are two types of cancers. So one is a benign tumor and one more is malignant tumor. One is benign tumor, second one is malignant tumor. So in that, first one is benign tumor or benign tumors. So very important, simple difference between that benign tumor and malignant tumor is, in case of benign tumor, this particular tumor is always present at a particular place where it is going to origin. Clear? So, and it will not spread from one place of the body to other place of the body. So, this benign tumor is curable cancer. Do remember, there are some medications are there. It may be surgery or it may be radiotherapy, laser therapy and chemotherapy. However, we can treat this benign tumor. So, it is not so dangerous. Clear? So it is a curable cancer. So once again, benign tumor, they are remain confined to the original location and it will not spread to the other parts of the body. So for that reason, where it is located in the body, so that particular location can be removed surgically. So it is curable cancer. But it is not the case in case of malignant tumor, because malignant tumor is a mass of proliferating cells called as neoplastic tumor. Here the word neoplastic refers to abnormal mass of cells, or abnormal tumor is considered as neoplastic. See, so this malignant tumor, mass of proliferating, as we discussed in last class, the word proliferation refers to a rapid multiplication. So those cancerous cells undergo rapid multiplication, refers to proliferating cells, called as neoplastic tumor. So this is called as neoplastic tumor cells. And these cells grow very rapidly. Why? Because as I told you, each and every normal cell has a normal sequence in case of a mitosis or meiosis. But in case of cancerous cells, there is no regulatory sequence. So by dividing, the continuously a rapid multiplication is present in case of this neoplastic or cancerous cells. Next. So they invade means they enter into the body organs and damage surrounding tissues. In case of malignant tumor, so those cancerous cells can invade means they can enter into any body organ through bloodstream. Very important word. So these malignant tumors can invade means they enter into any organs in our body and they can damage those particular organs. So this is the most dangerous, so that the malignant tumor is non-curable. So it is most dangerous in case of cancerous. Then the cells actively divide, grow and starve normal cells of vital nutrients. It means that those cancerous cells, they are already harmed cells, they are already damaged cells, they are already abnormal cells. So those abnormal cancerous cells also they can damage the normal cells, as well as they can damage the very important function, we can call it as normal activities of the normal cells. This is one of the property in case of cancerous cells. Once again, those abnormal cancerous cells also they can damage the normal physiology of other cells or neighboring cells. Next, these exhibit metastasis. A very important property in case of cancer is metastasis. So do remember, it may be asked in the examination. So the word metastasis refers to the cancerous cells escape from the site of their origin. Those cancerous cells can be escaped from their site of origin and they can migrate and they can move to distant or various places in our body, and wherever they reach, they can form a new tumor. Getting my point? So one example I can tell you, say for example, lung cancer, isn't it? It means that the cancer is going to form, or the tumor is going to form in the lungs. It means that, so any one of the tumor cell or cancerous cell from the lungs can escape from the lungs and enter into bloodstream. Clear? So while wandering around the bloodstream, so unexpectedly it can reach kidney or liver or wherever it may be. So there again it is going to form one more tumor. Clear? So this condition is called as metastasis. To remember, metastasis means it is a condition where so the cancerous cells escape from their site of origin and migrate or move to other places or various places in the body through blood, and wherever they reach they can form new tumor. So this is what the condition or the property of malignant tumor called as metastasis. Clear? So that it is most dangerous or non-curable cancer. Next, causes of cancer. So what are the causes of cancers? In this, normal cells transformed into, it means the normal cells are converted into cancerous neoplastic. I told you neoplastic means abnormal growth, abnormal tumor. So normal cells transformed or converted into cancerous neoplastic cells by physical agents, chemical agents and biological agents. So those all agents are collectively called as carcinogens. Hear the word carcinogens. So in our previous class we were discussing about allergen, isn't it? So the substance which cause allergy are called as allergen. The same way, those agents which cause cancer are called as carcinogens. So which includes physical, chemical and biological agents. Next, carcinogens. I told you what mean by carcinogens. Those agents, it may be physical, chemical and biological agents, those can cause cancers are called as carcinogens. Okay? It may be physical carcinogen, chemical carcinogen and biological carcinogens. So we'll discuss one by one. First one, physical carcinogen or physical agents. So we'll be having radiations. In that we'll be having one is ionizing radiations and another one is non-ionizing radiations. So both come under physical agents or physical carcinogens. So in that, ionizing radiations include X-rays and gamma rays. So these X-rays and gamma rays are ready to cause cancer, which may be simply called as skin cancer, isn't it? So and one more is non-ionizing radiations, simply called as UV radiations. So those UV radiations also cause cancer. Clear? So it means that those ionizing and non-ionizing radiations can cause cancer, so called as physical agents or physical carcinogens. I hope you understand. Next, chemical carcinogens or chemical agents means those agents which cause cancer are called as chemical agents or chemical carcinogens, which includes tobacco chewing, tobacco smoke, cigarette smoking, then sodium azide, then methyl ethane sulfonate, asbestos, arsenic compounds. So these all are the one such chemicals which contain huge amount of carcinogenic agents, isn't it? So for that reason, by using these chemicals or when you expose to these chemicals, definitely they can cause cancer. It may be mouth cancer, it may be oral, called as oral cancer, or it may be throat cancer, etc. Clear? So these all come under chemical agents or chemical carcinogens. Next, last one is biological agents. Clear? So biological agents, so those cancer causing viruses. Clear? So in our environment there are such viruses, they can ready to cause cancer. Those viruses are called as oncogenic viruses. I told you people, oncology means study of cancer. Onco means cancer, genic means producing. So cancer producing viruses are called as oncogenic viruses, and means those cells or the viruses which contain genes called as oncogenes. Those genes can cause cancer are called as oncogenes. Once again, those viruses which are ready to cause cancer are called as oncogenic viruses, and they will be having genes which are responsible to cause cancer. Those genes are called as oncogenes. Clear? Oncogenes. So such examples, virus examples, HPV, that is human papilloma virus. HPV, note it, human papilloma virus. Pox virus, HBV, refers to hepatitis B virus. HBV, hepatitis B virus. So these are the what? Some viruses which cause cancer. So these viruses are simply called as oncogenic viruses. I hope you understand. So this is come under biological agents. Next, cellular oncogenes. Cellular oncogenes, simply called as C-onc. Cellular oncogenes. See, in case of this one, sometimes abnormal genes in our body, sometimes abnormal genes in our body called as proto-oncogenes. Very important word, Proto-oncogenes means some of the genes, normal genes which are present in our cells are called as proto-oncogenes, get converted into oncogenic that cause cancer. Clear? See, what I'm trying to tell you is that in our body, some of the cells contain some normal cells, genes called as proto-oncogenes. So those genes are usually normal. But when we expose to some of the carcinogenic agents, that time those normal genes are being converted into oncogenic genes. So that time definitely they can cause cancer. Hence they are considered as cellular oncogenes. Once again, in our body some of the cells contain normal genes. When we expose to the oncogenic, that is carcinogenic agents, those normal genes are being converted into cancers. They are considered as cellular oncogenes. Next, types of cancers. So as we discussed first earlier, that is two types. One is a benign tumor, second one is a malignant tumor. Again there are some classes. One is, there are four types of cancers are there. One is carcinoma, sarcoma, then leukemia and lymphoma. There are four basic cancers are there. First one is carcinoma, sarcoma, leukemia and last one is lymphoma. Clear? So we'll discuss one by one. First one is carcinoma. So the name itself indicating the meaning, that is carcinoma means it is a cancer of epithelial tissue. It's simply called as skin cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer. So these all cancers come under, that is carcinoma. The name itself suggesting the meaning, that is cancer of epithelial tissue. Second one, sarcoma. See, again the name itself indicating the meaning. Sarcoma refers to, it is a cancer of connective tissue. So that includes bone, muscles, lymph nodes and lymphatic organs. So which come under sarcoma. Then next one is leukemia. As we know that, simply called as blood cancer. Do remember, blood cancer refers to leukemia. It means that leukemia, the word refers to leukocytes, simply called as WBCs, isn't it? So most of the people believed that leukemia refers to blood cancer, isn't it? No doubt, it is a blood cancer. But the thing is that in that particularly when there is a random increase in the WBCs, particularly I am using the word WBCs, then only it is considered as a blood cancer. See, in case of blood, if there is excess growth of RBCs, isn't it? You should not call it as a cancer. That is leukemia. Leukemia means exclusively increase the number of WBCs. Then only it is considered as leukemia. Then last one is lymphoma. That is a cancer of lymphatic system or lymphoid organs. It may be tonsils, it may be spleen, it may be thymus, it may be bone marrow. Those cancer is simply considered as a lymphoma. That is cancer of lymphoid organs. Then cancer detection. Then diagnosis. How can we diagnose the cancer? Very simple. Some of the techniques to detect cancers are of the internal organs. See, the person who is suffering from skin cancer means, no doubt, however, we can diagnose it by physical appearance, morphological characters, isn't it? Because that particular cancer is going to form on the body surface. So we can conclude it by some physical observation. But if the cancer is going to form within the body or internal organs, so we can't detect. So there are some specialized techniques to diagnose the cancer which is present in the internal organs or organs of internal. So in that, first one is biopsy and histopathological or histological. So biopsy. So I can tell you people, biopsy and histological study of the tissues. So biopsy means by taking the sample, taking the suspected sample, and histological means histologic study of tissues. Do remember, study of tissue is called as histology. So biopsy and histological study of tissues, blood and bone marrow. So test for increased count in the case of leukemia. So in case of leukemia, we can detect the cancer by means of increased count in the WBCs, that is formed by the bone marrow. So that bone marrow by taking the sample, by taking the thin section from the bone marrow, we can understand the cancer, that is leukemia. Clear? So in case of organ cancer, that is biopsy. The suspected sample is taken from the particular organ or tissue, take a thin section and by stain it and observe in the microscope, definitely we can conclude that the person whether is suffering from cancer or not. For second one is histological study, means taking a particular tissue, the tissue which it is cancer, so that particular tissue is taking to diagnose the cancer. So biopsy and histological. Next one, biopsy. As I told you, the suspected tissue is cut. Suspected tissue, particular, it may be lungs, it may be stomach, it may be liver. So which organ is considered as cancer? So that particular organ, so the small part is going to cut and take a thin sections and examine in the microscope by staining procedure. By staining means by adding some colored agents. Then a radiography, make use of X-rays. Radiography means we can diagnose the cancer by make use of X-rays. Next, CT scan. The word CT refers to computed tomography. Do remember computed tomography? It means that by make use of this computed tomography or CT scan, the X-rays, the X-rays which are emitted by this CT scan, they can generate 3D, that is three-dimensional imaging of internal organ. Do remember, in case of CT scan, that is computed tomography, those X-rays which are emitting from the CT scan, they can generate three-dimensional image of the internal organ. So from that image we can diagnose whether the person is suffering from cancer or not. Clear this? This is what? CT scan. Next one, MRI, that is magnetic resonance imaging. Magnetic resonance imaging. So there the pathological and physiological changes. The pathology, the word pathology refers to, it is a branch of science or biology, deals with the study of the abnormal condition of the internal organ. Once again, pathology means is a branch of science or biology, deals with the abnormal condition of the internal organ. Is called as pathology, pathological and normal body physiological changes. So if any changes, it may be pathologically or it may be physiologically, any changes in the body or in the living tissue are detected by using magnetic fields and non-ionizing radiations which are emitting from the MRI, that is magnetic resonance imaging. Clear my point? So these are what? Some diagnostic methods. Next, by using antibodies. Very important, one more detecting diagnosing method is by using antibodies against cancer specific antigens. It means that the person who is suffering from cancer, there, in his body or in her body, so there are some antibodies are going to produce in presence of that cancer cells. It means that our body is going to believe that the cancer is considered as an antigen, so that in presence of that or in response to that tumor or cancer, our body is going to produce antibodies. So the presence of that specific antibodies, we can detect whether the person is suffering from cancer or not. Clear my point? Because the antibodies are come under specific immunity, isn't it? What is acquired immunity? It means those antibodies are going to produce only in presence of that specific antigen, isn't it? So that if the antibodies are responsible for cancerous cells, they are not usually or normally present in the body. It means those antibodies are going to produce only during cancer. So that if those antibodies are present in the body means, so some of the cancer cells are present in the body. So based on that, the doctors are going to identify, they are going to diagnose the cancer in suspected person. Next, immunological and molecular diagnostic techniques can be used to detect cancer. That is immunological, that is antigen antibody reaction based on the antigen antibody reaction, and molecular biology means based on the DNA, based on the sequence, nucleotide sequence, isn't it? So many are there. Based on that we can also detect the cancer. So there are some upgraded technologies are there. Next, identifying certain genes which make an individual susceptible to cancers can help to prevent cancers. It means that, as I told you, proto-oncogenes, isn't it? So in our body, some of the genes are there. Some of the genes are there which are normally present in our body. But when we expose to the carcinogenic agents, so those normal genes are being converted into cancerous, isn't it? So in that particular suspected people, we need to give awareness to him to avoid those kind of carcinogenic agents to prevent cancer. This is what identifying certain genes in our body which can make individuals susceptible to cancers, so can help to prevent cancer. Next, the individuals are advised to avoid, very important word here, those normal cells. There is a chance to convert from normal gene to cancerous. So only when that particular person exposed to carcinogenic agents, so that those individuals are advised to avoid exposure to such carcinogens. Clear? If this individual is going to expose to such carcinogens, that time those normal genes, there is a chance of normal genes are converted into carcinogenic agents. Clear? So as much as possible try to give aware to these particular individuals to avoid such carcinogenic agents. Next, treatment of cancer. As we know that, however, there is no treatment for cancer in the last stage, but today technology we can cure that cancer in first stage or in second stage. Clear? Even we can cure the benign tumor even in last stage. Then in that first one, surgery. The first treatment in cancer is surgery. The word surgery refers to a surgically removal of that particular cancered area or cancered organ. Say for example, lung cancer. So that time whole lung, I can show you people, isn't it? So at this time, particularly at this place is cancer, isn't it? So that time by means of surgical method we can remove at particular this area, isn't it? So surgically remove this particular area means, however, this is considered as surgery. Surgery means surgically removal of cancer. Surgically removal of cancer is considered as surgery. Then second one is radiotherapy. As the name suggests, tumor cells are radiated. So irradiated, that is tumor cells are irradiated to death. Also proper care is taken for the protecting surrounding normal tissue. It means that in case of radiotherapy, by make use of some radiations, they are going to kill, they are going to destroy specifically cancer cells. Do remember, in case of radiotherapy, particularly make use of some radiations and they are going to kill or they are going to destroy the cancerous cells. So that particular time we should take care, proper care is taken for protecting the normal cells which are present near to that cancer area. To remember, clear? So called as radiotherapy means we are giving treatment for cancer by make use of radiations. Means by make use of radiation we are destroying cancer cells, called as radiotherapy. Second one, chemotherapy. The name itself indicating the meaning. Chemotherapy refers to we are giving treatment to cancer by make use of drugs. Chemo refers to chemicals, refers to drugs. See, drugs specific for particular tumors are used to kill cancerous cells, but they have some side effects such as hair loss, anemia. The word anemia refers to a decreased count of RBCs or decreased count of hemoglobin in the blood. So considered as anemia. So these are what some side effects. But however, in the first stage, we can prevent the cancer by making use of some specialized drugs are there, called as chemotherapy. The next one is immunotherapy. Last one is immunotherapy. Biological response is modified such as alpha interferon. So many times it is asked in the examination. Do you remember? Alpha interferons is a protein or a chemical used to they activate the immune system of the patient and helps in the destroying tumor. It means this alpha interferon protein or the chemical can destroy the tumor or cancerous cell. So this is called as immunotherapy. Next, abuse drugs will discuss in the next class. Thank you very much.